Okay, good afternoon or evening or good morning to all you folks. Just wanted to make a quick video about this 1998 XR100R that my son picked up. He got a killer deal on it, and the thing needed a carburetor. So the focal point of this video, it's short and sweet. It's just going to be on the Nibbi PE24 carburetor. Got a box full of parts. I'm going to explain some things really quick that I noticed there wasn't really good videos online of the carburetor installation or any good explanation about how this carburetor is installed properly. I'm going to tell you right off the gate that the stock flange for the boot fits perfectly against the Nibbi carburetor. So if you guys are looking for a PE24, PE22, any one of those carbs, probably more like focal to this bike is stock right now. I think the PE24 is the way to go. It is a 1-inch diameter on the inlet tubes here, so they both match up perfectly. So the flow was perfect through there. Your stock boot does not fit on the end here without modification. I see a lot of guys do this. They do like a boot from the hardware store, and they put a boot over the boot, and then what they do is you can do something like this. You can stick this into the boot to make it hard, so that way when you put the flanges on and you put the hose clamps on, it doesn't break it and it keeps it tight. We bought this thinking that we were going to have to do that as well. Ended up being that we did not have to do that. The PE24 carb comes stock with, I believe it's like a 110/40 setup. I'm going to tell you guys off that pilot in main right away. The proper jetting on this bike, even with this carburetor, this thing's running like a top, by the way. Little to no adjustment after we figured out the jetting. I went right to the cold start jet kit that I have on my bike, and that goes with the stock. It's like 38-100. So you're going to run a 38-100. It's basically the same as the Keyine setup. You're going to buy some extra jets. It's the stock carb will come with its own jets, which I'm going to show you guys right now. This is the stock jets that the carb comes with. You're not going to need anything that the stock carb comes with. You get rid of those right away. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to install. I went on Amazon and bought a jet kit that was cheaper than just buying a Tusk cold start jet kit, which would give you the 38-100 needles. And it's for the Keyine. And as you can see, there's the jets. And then they went in perfectly. When we put the 38-100 in there, boom, this thing ran like a top. And I have all the extra jets for the big bore and exhaust. If you're going to do an exhaust on this, you're going to go up from the 38-100 to a 105/40. And then and then there's another adjustment if you go with the big bore kit. I think it's 110/40. That should be the accurate numbers on the jetting. So if you guys can remember those numbers, that's what you guys are going to want to run. Like I said, everything is stock on this bike. The trick to this is very easy. The factory screw that comes in there is too short. You need to find a screw that matches the factory screw that's longer, which I can't show you because it's on the inside. This is a longer screw. So you make the factory connector longer, wider. And then what you do is you take a heat gun and you take this and you heat this whole thing up and you put it on from the inside edge first, and then you just get a mini screwdriver and work this little front edge over, and it literally flips right over the stock intake boot or whatever, the carburetor. And then you can use the clamp with the longer version of the stock screw. Once the longer version's on and it clamps down tight, it's on. The stock throttle cable goes right onto the slide here perfectly, and then you just put the rubber boot back down, and this all works like a glove. There's literally limited to no modifications at all. The only other thing that I could tell you is that we did attempt to run a different tube back up and out. We didn't like the way it looked, so we put the stock Nibbi one back on there for this, but everything else is run exactly the way it should be. The bike fires up and runs no problem. And again, you see it's pretty generic and simple. And like I said, you can run the PE22 or the PE24. Now, the bike is cold, and we just got this all going, but I'm going to give it a shot and see if we can start it real quick. So let's see here. It's like 20 degrees out where we're at right now, and that bike just started out stone cold, one kick. No choke. Pretty much don't have to choke this bike no more. This bike will go, this bike should fire up in a dead freezing zero weather. We're here in New Jersey and it's, you know, it's January. So that's basically it, man. Nibbi PE24, basic carb settings, right off the gate, 38, 100 is what you're gonna run on the needle and the pilot. And then basically you're gonna come out here about 1.5 and work this to, depending on how well your motor runs, how much good compression you got, you'll run this in between like 3/4 to 1.5. It's not going to pull as much, and then you just adjust your, you know, your idle to where you feel like your bike is running crisp and clean and you're getting solid throttle response. Other than that, that's about it. If anybody has got any questions or need any information on the numbers, I got this pretty much down to a science. I did have one with a big bore on it, so I've had ones with exhaust on it. But stock XR100, there you go. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.